Alright, now I guess, man, don't mind I ain't had a shower in like 2 days, almost maybe, this is probably the third day. It's probably gonna be one of the first videos I'm gonna post to YouTube, I guess. Furthermore, documenting my life, I guess. I'm hoping some people can start following my content more so I can start going live even on here for YouTube. But right now I'm just making this little video because I just got done talking to one of my old schools next door, and it started dawning on me the more like I'm knowing what's happening kind of, as far as the process of this legal stuff of now they're trying to turn. And I was talking to him about how they made a false call on me about throwing fireworks at people. And I guarantee that call did not come from one person that was standing anywhere near me as I'm throwing a firework. That call came from the same complaint that went to my landlord the day prior because I was throwing fireworks out my window as somebody get 15, 20 feet down from my window, and I scare them a little bit being a little kid right after 4th of July. Kindly told my landlord as he calls me is that somebody told him that I was throwing them at people. It's a lie. Did not throw one cigarette at one person. I mean, you know what I meant. Did not throw one firework at one person. This is the content I got in my windows. It's backwards, but it says all hate, no peace. I don't know if y'all can see that actually. I think it's reading correctly here. But that's one of my images in my window. This is another image in my window. Yep, y'all can read that. Good job. Hell yeah. Good stuff. It's backwards on my Facebook or something. Got my donkey with the mask. I wish I could get this elephant kneeling on his knees, bowing to the donkey with his foot on his... Nah, I ain't. Never mind. That's another one of my art ideas, I guess, since I'm putting it in a... So I started this. I'm just going to go ahead and say this from here. Been a tattoo artist for 10 years. Professional, real good. One of the best shops in the location or the city that I reside in. I moved down here about 6 years ago into this home. Well, first I was living in a hotel room for about two, maybe 3 months, I think it was. To try to move my life down here closer to the job that I work at, a place that I built a very close relationship with many people at. My boss still is to me. He might not feel that way, especially, everything that's going on, but my landlord has been harassed. I've been harassed over my beliefs. So dancing around a little bit, not necessarily dancing around it, but not dancing around anything. I got ADD, so bear with me. Down here in Indianapolis, George Floyd took place. This city went to shit. People are dying at a higher rate in Indianapolis than ever. I have noticed over the time that I have taken over the years to invest into trying to figure out what Black Lives Matter really stood for, and because I started on the opposite side of the spectrum, I come from the streets a bit more than some people, quite a few. I can't answer that right now. I'm sorry. That's a good friend of mine. It's very good friend of mine. She's going through a lot. Proud of her. She's doing really good in life. She's a piece of why I do what I do. Poverty, streets, violence, crime, drugs, that lifestyle. I've watched too many people die from it. I've lost too many people to these streets. So that's why I've cared and taken the time to invest in the things that I do. So some time ago here in my city, I'll get back to the art part of it here in a little bit. After George Floyd took place, I started living down here in this party neighborhood where there's businesses all around me that literally play this gang violent crap and other music, you know, stuff that I grew up off of but I no longer listen to. Starting at George Floyd, I've listened to my music in my house, same level of noise. Sometimes I used to play it after hours because, I mean, they did, and I thought that was okay, but they complained to my landlord, ended up having me canceled inside my home. First it started within the noise ordinance hours, and then they made more complaints because the content's too insensitive to people's feelings. Predominantly being Tom MacDonald, shout out. If y'all know who he is, y'all better go check him out. Please listen to him. Neither here nor there. So first I started listening to my content in contrast, you know, Tom MacDonald. A lot of people didn't like it, made complaints. Sometimes I played Candace Owens, CPAC speech inside my home. I played her 2020 CPAC speech. I played some Ben Shapiro. I played certain statistics that I've heard. Sometimes I'm throughout the house, walking on throughout the house. I like to hear it, you know. I'm in my home. This used to be a recording studio. Sorry, can't answer it right now. She used to be a recording studio. Business right below me used to be able to have fucking concerts downstairs the first Friday of every month. Anybody that might be seeing this from Fountain Square, first Friday every month, they used to have concerts downstairs, but there kept being acts of violence and destructive to the property around here. So the landlord ended up having them stop. Mind you, at one point I had my daughter here and everything else, and they do this stuff after noise ordinance hours until a day that there ended up being somebody that got beat up down there, and they made threats to me for making complaints to the landlord that, hey, we need to be careful, man. They up here trying to get us up out of here, and pointed straight up at me in the window, and then the dude gonna say, I don't give a fuck, I'll go around there and smash him right now. There's a group of 15, 20 brothers and sisters out back of my home, my residence. This my shit. It's a mess, don't mind me. But out here, they all partied up. This gate, they got access to because of this business down below me that's able to have these concerts after hours. Come on, man. And then they get shut down for that. I get shut down playing my music during noise ordinance hours, which is perfectly legal. Told them if it's a problem with the law, call the law. If I'm disturbing the peace, let me know, because ain't none of my elders that live in this complex right next to me. Right next to me. I live right here. They literally right here. But every other business below me, I don't know positively beside me. No, there's definitely been some complaints from the one directly to my side. I don't know about the one below me, I'm sure. So I'm sharing a little bit of my background just in this video that I'm gonna upload. Try to make this as short as possible. A lot of my times when I just read a lot, I talk a lot of shit. Find it interesting, follow. If you don't, whatever, I don't care. Talk shit, make fun, whatever. I'm just documenting and sharing my experiences down here for my freedom of speech and for my safety, and just to start documenting what I'm seeing around my city and what's going on. So in the process of the things that I'm dealing with down here, and the harassment and the discrimination based on my political and religious views that I'm suffering within my job, suffering within my home. So I'm gonna skip back to I'm gonna get back to that drawing stuff here in just a second. So after that content that you've seen in my window, before that content in my window was the music. This was also happening in my job as I started playing Tom MacDonald. And straight white male comes across the Pandora on the radio. Client complains to the piercer, which is my ex. Piercer complains to the owner. No longer is Tom MacDonald allowed to be played in here. I can't play that controversial stuff. Okay, well, it's okay for the left, you know what I'm saying? They can play some stuff in here talking about gang, gang, bang, bang, Lil Peep, and murdering, raping, selling drugs, and so forth. Can't answer that, baby. That's mine. Anywho, blah, blah, blah. We can talk about fuck the police. There's one song that played, talk about put 200 bands put 100 bands on Zimmerman's head, you know? That's a direct, I don't know how that man ain't investigated or arrested for that. How you gonna say in a song that you put a hit on someone's head, and somebody that's such a controversial person within these political movements that we got going on out here and all this racial tension, and you putting a hit on this dude? Who'd you put a hit on into? Anywho, so my music got canceled. I had that argument with the boss at the time, and I'm just like my father. I had that discussion with him, and he's like, man, just can't have that controversial stuff in here. It's too controversial. All right, cool. Well, can I get some sort of guidelines and this, that, and the other? Because I listen to a few other artists that kind of have this expression. Can we at least, in this moment, he kind of let me, I wouldn't say let me, but I had a couple specific artists that was being played in contrast to what I believe and listen to. Political and so forth, and I was told that we could delete those few stations, so I deleted those. Nah, still wasn't. There's still other shit, NWA popping up, and this, that, and the other, fuck the police content and so forth, and my boss, he's an older gentleman that don't know much about rap, and most people in that shop, they hear rap and it just kind of goes in one ear and out the other. They don't really necessarily understand the context of what's in the lyrics. I do, being that culturally, that's how I grew up, listening to that kind of music, and that's what I've never related to any other kind of music my whole life. So, R&B, rap, soul music, so forth. So, couldn't give specific guidelines. It was weird. One of the guys there, I guess, he's not a manager, but I mean, he kind of is the boss's right-hand man. He's allowed to kind of thumbs down what he does. I had him come to me one time because I thumbed down a Snoop Dogg song, because Snoop Dogg made a political statement talking about anybody that voted for Trump, they racist and so forth, right? So, boy. Told you I'm going to try to make this as short as I can. I really don't have time to be on there. I need to make a couple phone calls real quick, but I felt like I needed to make this video. This is my first actual video about anything like this that I plan. I've only done lives, and I just started doing them lives because I keep getting censored everywhere I go, which is what I'm talking about. So, for my political and religious views. I don't preach hate. I don't preach violence. I don't preach destruction. I don't advocate for violence whatsoever. I don't represent racism. I stand very strongly against racism. I'm going to put it all out there, being that my daughter is what y'all call black due to the one drop rule that supposedly, asked Wikipedia, derived from America, which it did not. It derived from Nazi Germany, Hitler himself, the amount of blood that it took to constitute what makes a Jew. Okay, that's where, okay. So, we're establishing that. Get back to the music. All that shit was kind of weird. I say something to him that one day about Snoop Dogg. I thumbed it down. Fuck that. I don't want to hear that shit in here. I grew up off that dude, man. I looked up to him when I was younger, you know. He influenced me in the street mentality, in a sense, which he was one of the more softer rappers that I ever listened to. One of the more mainstream cut, appropriate, which wasn't appropriate at all. It is... Y'all talk about shit about women and stuff and how men talk about women. Oh, man, let's talk about that. Let's go to the rap industry, how they talk about women. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about how they ain't nothing but snow bunnies, bust downs, prostitutes, hoes, sluts, this, that, and the other. So censor me where you want to. I don't know what platforms this is appropriate for or as politically correct as it should be, but I'm just exercising my freedom of speech, trying to document and so forth. So the music, that little weird situation happened. I was dealing with those problems in my job. Well, and I get there's my ex. She is a very far left-leaning, very far on all aspects. She's worn short shirts in the shop and proudly come show them to me, knowing where I stand. Tried to take the stance of, well, I don't know. I just think it's funny. Ain't nothing funny about this. You know it's not. You know how passionate I am about this, and I actually care to know what I represent. So I look into these things, and I'm seeing so many people die everywhere these movements touch. Poverty goes up. Crime and violence goes up. The ones that are out here tearing the shit up, they ain't the ones suffering from it. They're the ones profiting from it. These businesses around here, everywhere I go in my little town, I can't walk out my front door and look at a telephone pole without seeing this fuck the police, death to cops bullshit. Literally. I mean, there's stickers. I'm gonna end up making videos of them. I'll endeavor more. This is just gonna be a short little something. As short as I can make it. Coffee. For those of you that don't know, that want to try to use one of those narratives y'all paint about every fucking white person you can. I don't use those sort of drugs whatsoever. Smoke some pot. What? Judge me if you want to. Hi, Karen. So, all my music's canceled in there. This girl wearing in shirts coming up to me talking about eat the rich. What is it? Yeah, one says eat the rich. What was the other one it said? Something about, eat the rich. Damn it, I don't know why I'm blanking out right now. This is the first time this ever happened to me. It's really important for me to remember these things. I don't know if it's because I'm so worked up right now having this conversation and realizing the intensity. I'm only showing that because they've been showing up a lot more. Oh, okay, never mind. That's somebody genuinely looks like they're coming to eat. God bless that officer and that man getting in that car with that officer, his family and his loved ones, so forth. I totally lost where I was at. I'm going to just try to get back to the short, sweet, and simple. So, my music's canceled at the shop. This girl's wearing a shirt in says Eat the Rich. That's it. It was Eat the Rich. No, it was Eat the Rich with a hand throwing a cocktail. With a hand throwing a cocktail. Said eat the rich. Another one said expose your local Nazi. The third one I can't remember. She came up and showed me all three of these. Every time I was like, man, I'm sorry. That stuff is that's bad. People's dying over that narrative. I do not trust that is a very unhealthy side to support. I actually stand, if you will, claim some sort of side in that spectrum. I'm totally on the opposite side. I do not, again, claim red, blue, fucking white, black, brown, purple, none of that shit. So, political, religious even, religion, you want to get into that? I ain't on here, that's getting back to the short, sweet, and simple, whatever. I do claim Yahshua, I do claim Christ, but I do not claim any denomination of Christianity whatsoever. The churches are lost. That's for another video, I guess. My music's canceled. Now I'm going to get to the art part. This girl coming up to me, constantly harassing me. She's got her personal problems. I ain't going to probably air currently, you know. It'll come out in process. It's not something I really want to just proudly talk about her. It's really sad. She's somebody I love very much, and I wish that she would get her head out of her ass. I guarantee you, if she did stop doing the things that she was doing, she would have a better understanding for what I'm doing and not have hatred towards me to cancel and harass me and set me up and so forth to ultimately cost me my job, literally. So fast forward into the drawings in the shop. My friend told me that a while ago, I don't know if it was during the process after George Floyd or what, but he had told me at some point, which God bless him for this. He has no clue how much it's helped and impacted my life. I've had a drawer's block for so long. Once I hit this, what I would call slightly a pivotal moment of pouring my heart, he told me that some of the best ideas come from people that put their passion into what they're doing, put their passion into their art. The best ideas and best art comes from people that put their passion into what they do. I'm like sitting there just one day after being silenced here, Facebook constantly silencing me for things other people can do. I can get death threats literally in my inbox, and I'm getting blocked and banned. I can get people that are literally advocating for the rape of my cracker mother. Because I'm just trying to educate him on the crimes to humanity that Jake Blake had carried out, and the reason why he was there, and why it's so strange and disrespectful and condescending to the person that was the victim. He wanted to he wanted to advocate for that and fucking jump in my shit. Talking about Black Lives Matter, you cracker, fuck your mama. So I screenshot the conversation, put it on Facebook. You want to talk about Chicago's only 2 hours from there? I don't give a fuck. Chicago, better city than this now, from what I'm seeing with statistics and what's happening. And I'm not going to be bullied for my opinion whatsoever. This ain't no stunt for nobody. This ain't no nothing. I'm just out here trying to have my freedom of speech, push back where I feel like it's necessary, have a voice just like anybody else, stand up for my rights and my First Amendment and my freedom of speech. Again, you're going to hear me say that 1,000 times over. Y'all talk about equality, but where's the equality? They told me silence is violence, but they want me quiet. They said white silence is violence specifically, but then turn around and stay in the same context that white men can't speak. Nah. So, I ain't your average cookie cut fucking white boy or wannabe this, that, and the other. Been called my whole life a wigger by most, I would say, racist. Been called by most brothers and sisters white chocolate. Which I feel you, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers trying to tell me, Nate, you ain't white, you black. Nah, bruh. I'm white. The people you talking about, that's my mama, that's my sister, when you talking about the white man, the only race in the world has fought their own race to liberate another race from slavery, the world's leaders in abolishing slavery, from Great Britain to France to the great United States of America. The only race in the world you can openly discriminate against based on the color of their skin and not the content of their character. Racism begets racism, you hypocrites, you fascists, you Marxists, you false flag narrative supporting Nazis. Destroying our country. So I start pouring my passion into my art. One day I sat down. I'm going to go ahead and show this one. That ain't the first, the second image that I showed in this video. This is the image I got fired for. I'll get to that here in just a second. So the first image that I started drawing, man, my stuff is a disaster. I got fired, had to move all my stuff in my home, the emotions and so forth behind it, depression, trying to keep pushing through this suppression and oppression that I've been dealing with out here. Dealing with the Antifa very prevalent in my neighborhood, and Black Lives Matter within our businesses and so forth, being harassed by them, no lie. Okay, what was my first image? Okay, fuck that image. I maybe show it later on. Right now, it's not important. It's this. What that other image was this hand without the Antifa flag. This says, all hate at the bottom, no peace. And it just has graffiti-style letters almost on the side. No, it said something similar. The graffiti on the sides, that was the difference. Oh, yeah, that's the difference. It didn't have this in there. It just said, all hate at the top. And then it said, no peace. All hate, no peace on the side of it. So I drew that first initial image, literally. I drew that first initial image, freedom of expression, right? Nah. Not when you in contrast to the left, these Nazis, these fascists that are gonna, these crybabies claim tolerance, but they are intolerant. So I drew that image at our drawing table where we sit and draw everything from Black Lives Matter to Black Power to fucking gay pride, pardon my language, because I don't know what media gonna ban me. But I've been banned so many times. I created another page. That page was banned before I was able even to post anything on it but 2 pictures. After they canceled me for an image that my girlfriend posted right by mine is censored immediately. And then I'm blocked. Hers, same picture. They got me for nudity. Same fucking picture. Still up. Days later. I ever tag it to my page that I got canceled on, but that's on Facebook. Nathan Richardson, you probably won't be able to find it because the way I got it set up was to try to protect myself against these exposure local Nazi motherfuckers because they want to hate on an opinion that they don't understand. And because I'm speaking the truth, it makes them think that I'm some sort of white supremacist. I've had businesses around here label me that as well. And again, I mentioned my daughter, my mom's husband's black, yada yada. It's not it only matters because it is relevant. So drew that image. I had it sitting up there at the drawing table. I set one piece up, which was just the Black Power fist with the Nazi symbol, a gay pride part. I had drawn that one, but now I was about to put the letters. So now I'm taking that reference, and I wanted that out of my way so I could draw on the other image, and I had another piece sitting beside me. So I didn't have room. So I just set it up on there. I'm like, there's no reason I need to be hiding this. There's no racist intent behind my motives. I believe that my understanding of what this is my freedom of expression to show, to bring, how would I say this? How would I express this? This is just my way to show my belief of how I feel, the things that I've seen. I don't have a good example for that right now. I feel like I've had a couple, but neither here nor there. This is just my way of trying to have my freedom of expression and express some of the things that I have seen. It's up for whoever to interpret it how they want to. That Nazi symbol does not represent white supremacy whatsoever at all. So with that being said, I drew that image, set that image up there. A couple comes walking in, a black American couple. I talk to them. I don't discriminate against nobody based on color or nothing. That you can even I've got gay pride activists that I've tattooed. I've got some, I would say, even Black Power type people that I've tattooed. I've got people that aren't Black Power or anything that I've tattooed that I've had conversations with that don't discriminate and agree with more than what I'm saying, then they don't agree. So, drew this image, set it up there. These 2 clients, Karens, pardon me if there's some legal shit there or whatever. Everybody calling everybody Karens. I've been trying to expose the real Karens, the real racists, the real Nazis, white, black, Chinese. I don't give a shit. Making it short and sweet. Damn it. It's 30 minutes. So, after all that being said, I made that image. They go complain to the piercer, my ex, which again I briefed you on her. Yada yada. She goes complains to the owner, says that those clients were so offended they'd never come back in here. And my understanding, okay, well, if that's the case, you know, we don't censor freedom of expression or whatnot, and there was no racist intent. If you have a problem with that, you know, take it up with making a legal call or something to that nature, or whatever their problems there might be there. But it's not up to us to censor what we do and don't do in here, because we do everything, again, from upside down crosses to the American flag to Black Power to gay pride and so forth. So, but that's not what happened. I was told, again, it's too controversial. I'm like, okay, well, I played all poor about passionate about art. So what is it that I can't draw? Since you're telling me basically that I can't draw this content here. What do you want me to do? I'm an artist. This is what I'm paid to do for a living. This is how I fed my family and so forth for past 10 years. I've moved my life down here around this. What do you mean? I can't draw? What, this America, this China, this, where are we at? What's going on here? So, okay, if it's too controversial, what about it is too controversial? Well, what is it that we don't allow? Because I just expressed all that to him. And he's like, well, we don't tattoo the Nazi symbol. Hey, Bob, I'm sorry right now. Love you guys. I'm making a video real quick, but I'll talk to you guys soon. Love y'all. Dang, my girl calling again. So, what kid or can't I draw? Can we tattoo? Can we draw the American flag anymore? You know, being, I guess, slightly sarcastic, but genuinely sincere. You know, to when can we? Are they going to come and say that we can no longer tattoo the American flag with a blue line through it or something because it's too offensive, or the American flag, or like what's going on here? All right, well, we don't allow the Nazi symbol. Okay, fine. I'll take the Nazi symbol out. It's not a problem. No, that ain't gonna work. I followed up so I can be verbatim with the legal and whatever else. I followed up right behind that. I said, well, fine, I'll take the Nazi symbol out. I got a lot of other ideas that I'd like to put into this. I believe I can do something with this, you know. It's an outlet. I've been censored at my home with I can't speak inside my home. I can't listen to my music content. So even furthermore, I was told after being canceled that I'll take it to the streets. And I'm like, all right, you know, they're attacking people, yada, yada. Short and sweet. They're attacking people out here. But I'll do that. Fine. Y'all keep silence and be able to keep being heard even more. I'll put my life in this, that, and the other, I guess. If that's what it is. I can't choose what people choose to do with the way that they feel about the content of the things that I listen to, the things that I say, with my freedom of speech and freedom of expression, which I know to be within, to my knowledge, within my God-given rights, the same as everybody else's God-given rights. So when they're standing on my rights, they ain't just standing on my rights, they're standing on your rights. For those of you that don't know. So, what can't I draw? I got a lot of other ideas that I want to put about passionate about art, and I do plan on continuing doing so. I need guidelines and specifics. I was given none. Just told not the controversial stuff. Said again, even the next day came to me. In person. I said that through messages. I said in person. I said, no, I don't have the time to deal with that stuff at all today whatsoever, but I am going to continue to pour my passion in my art, my exact words. Okay, all right, well, hopefully we have a good day, everything, this, that, and the other. All right, fine. I don't plan on, well, I don't come in here to do that. The only time I ever talk about it is when somebody else talking about it. An employee around the shop. I try not to bring it into the shop as much as possible, but almost everybody in the world's talking about it. It's in some aspect of their life. So, let's give it those guidelines again. 2 weeks go by. Some stuff in between. It's not important details at this time, but stuff in between. A lot of stuff, actually. But, so a week or two goes by. My ex comes in, buzzing off her ass with I was told that they wouldn't be surprised if she deliberately had this person call, which I don't know if it's possible to subpoena calls, but I guarantee you, I'm very convinced, and not just convinced from what he had said, convinced from that makes a lot of sense from what had took place, and what had took place that I just got done explaining. So she comes to me with the phone and says, hey, here's a client, I want to talk to him about tattoo. I was like, yeah, fine, go to grab the phone. And she's like, oh, but before you talk to them, she says she identifies as binary sub shit. I don't even know what the fuck binary means. I've tried to ask somebody, I think they told me. That shit is very confusing for me. So pardon my insensitivity to that endeavor of things, which is going to get me further to my next drawing that got me fired. So she tells me that she tried to educate me on some proper pronouns. She said that she identifies as binary something, and she would like to be addressed with their proper pronouns. Me with school shit like that gives me fucking anxiety horribly bad. I never did get good in school. Long history of it. Yada yada yada. I started, how in the hell would no, I'm not doing that. I will simply, this is just, and I believe I'm within my God-given rights. It's not that I'm denying anybody their God-given rights. I simply said, we're in a tattoo shop. Again, we all cuss around there and talk about things that most of y'all wouldn't even, y'all be like, what in the fuck? Some things that I'll probably never say, I hope I ain't gotta say, through the eyes of the court to further the validity in my situation. But that's not, I don't want that person or those people put out there like that because of certain things, harassment, violence, and so forth. People are very rational instead of being understanding. But so she comes to me with that in my exact words. I do not give a fuck about nobody's fucking pronouns. I don't know nothing about that shit. I wasn't taught that shit in school. I said I will handle her professionally and accordingly, and outside of that, I don't know what else to say. I had the phone covered up, so the client couldn't hear me. I hope that the client couldn't overhear me through that, but if they did, I would have had a more professional and tried to be a little bit more caring and politically correct, if you will, about my expression about that. But being the harassment that I've went through from the person that brought the awareness to me, knowing I don't understand that stuff. I don't have too much room for an understanding for that sort of concept. It's hard for me to understand because to me, which is going to be what my drawing, I'm going to show you again, this was the exact sketch that I made that day that I lost my job. She buzzing again, mind you. Boss man ended up coming in. Love him to death. Sorry, he's the one that's in the crossfire of it, and I believe he's only been fear-mongered by the left to put him in the position that he has, to take the stance that he has, and he is taking what he knows to be the most resistant path, if you will. So, trying to be as understanding about that as possible, although it hurts deeply. But let's get back here, try to keep it short and sweet. And I'm going to start making a lot of other videos, yada, yada, yada. So short and sweet process. She comes to me with that. I said what I said, talked to the client. She wasn't even a minor. That was never addressed. Neither was anything about homosexuality whatsoever. Hang up the phone, told them to come in, let's check out their idea. And I took care of them accordingly, as I've stated also that I don't discriminate against other people as far as my work or anything like that. I'm going to give you the best tattoo that I can. I'm not going to harass you on your ideology. If it happens to come up in conversation, we might talk about it. I might express lightly in a more politically correct manner than I would. How I will probably further express myself in the future. That you guys will end up hearing from me, and that some others hear from me, that I might try to start toning down a little bit. Being a little bit more kinder due to my grandma and just some other stuff. But, so I go, said that to her, handled the client, no issues. Go in my booth, Alright, pour my passion into my art again. Bam, these ideas, this drawer block that I had, I randomly am now having ideas pop up in my head for what I do for a living. So something popped up in my head, this image, which now it's going to be backwards on here. Am I correct? Yep. Can't flip it around on here, but whatever. Fuck you emoji says fuck your feelings. The hermaphrodite male and female symbol. Science says no other genders exist. I sketched it out. I started it in my booth, but because I think my phone was dead or something to that, again, me not being afraid of my ideology, I don't believe it comes from a place of what these tyrants would like to try to label me. It genuinely comes from an ultimate place of unity for everybody and equality for everybody of all races. It's just more like I probably reference him quite a bit. Y'all get tired of hearing him. Tom McDonald. It's more along the lines of his ideology. It's insensitive to some people's feelings, but it's a way of my expression of the way that I feel, in contrast to what I believe a hateful and divisive, political and religious and all the above. So says fuck your feelings, science says no other exist. I went up there, started sketching it out on the computer because I knew the male and female, but then I was like, I don't know which way the symbol was supposed to face, and I didn't know what the hermaphrodite symbol was. So I'm gonna go up to the computer real quick, I'm gonna look it up, sketch this out real fast, and then I'm gonna run back there. As you can clearly see, it's a sketch. I sketched it out real fast, set it to the side of me. I can't remember what I was about to do, but the Pierce head came up. My ex, far left-leaning, vengeful person. Not trying to paint a horrible image of her, just telling the truth about it. Vindictive for a lot of reasons that I cannot understand for the life of me when I've done nothing but try to be there for her for many years. Genuinely love her, yada yada. Draw this image. She comes up, sees it, picks it up, which wasn't in her line of anything of her job duties whatsoever. She had to go out of her way, literally, to pick up my image, shake it like, and look at it, because she couldn't even read the bottom words of it. It's so light, you can't read that from far away. So she even picks my picture up, my property, looks at it I didn't even look, I just allowed her to. I wasn't trying to, agitate her any more than what I knew it already would. And I wanted to get back to my drawing area to finish this image up. She kind of tosses it down, not where it was, to the side a bit, and just like flicked it on. All right, Danielle, whatever, it's okay for you, but whatever, yada yada. So I go back to the booth a little bit later. I don't even think I ended up. I could tell that she had went and talked to one of the artists about it. I could tell that she made a phone call to the owner complaining about it. It's what she's done to censor my content or whatever. In her way to kind of ultimately, in my understanding and belief, get me fired. So I go sit in my booth. I didn't finish that drawing. I ended up writing a long little thing in notes at some point I have for documentation purposes. I don't know if I'll share it anywhere. I don't know if it's really that relevant for any purposes, but went and wrote this long little note saying about how I'm sitting here again in the balance, losing my job, something I didn't do, just from my political and religious views, yada yada. My boss done came up here. He's been sitting up here longer than I've ever seen him. I've tried to talk to him. I don't know if I outlined all that in that necessarily, but tried to talk to him. He's been ignoring me. I feel like I'm going to lose my job over my freedom of expression, as I've expressed multiple times throughout the shop. Even out the doors, I'm getting fired. Was told, went up to my brother telling him, fist bumping him, told you I'd lose my job and my home for this. And my landlord, which is my boss, told me I ain't gonna kick you out the house. 9 days later, when I hung this image, not this one, the other one up in my window, and he seen it or got wind of it from one of these crybabies around here, tells me he's no longer renting to me after almost 6 years. just fired me 9 days prior, giving me a date that's less than 30 days to find another place to live for my political and for my freedom of speech, my First Amendment. I have a right to hang this up here. They got Black Lives Matter on all kinds of businesses down here. They got gay pride on all kinds of businesses around here. It's my contact. This is my, I don't know anywhere I can go buy this sort of belief. And I'm an artist, so why don't I just draw my own stuff, save me some money, pour my passion into my art, what I do for a living? Why not? Why can't I express it in my window? So, wrote that. Come 7:30, I done one tattoo, $80 tattoo that day. Been sitting around all day. I'm ready to go. You know, that's something that we get to do around there if nobody's really doing nothing. A lot of times, you know, we'll get to leave. So I decide to take that opportunity to go ask the owner and be more respectful instead of just leaving like most other people would or whatever. And I go back there and I'm like, hey, Barry, you ain't talked to me this whole time. I tried to. Even came in the back door joking. Whatever. So, hey, Barry, it's coming up on 7:30. You mind if I go ahead and cut out? You know, only done one tattoo, this, that, and the other. And he's like, yeah, but before you do, I need to talk to you. I can't find it right now, but I still have the paper that I printed off that day on that laptop of his, on his computer. Because I felt that I knew what was going to happen. I wanted to have a stance in my rebuttal for my place of my freedom of expression and so forth. So I said, okay, but before you do, I need to give you something. Same tone I just used. And I give him what I printed off was the First Amendment. And then I give him what I printed off about the freedom of speech. First Amendment of how it's federally illegal to discriminate against somebody based on their religion, race, so forth. Y'all know it. He hands it back to me and said, I don't give a fuck. He said, I want you out. I already started recording him prior to. He's seen me recording him. I ain't trying to be secretive about anything. I'm just trying to document my experience. He said something to the nature of, I said, okay, can I ask why you want me out? Nope, you're trying to set me up. What? No, it's not my intentions whatsoever. He said, are you recording? I said, yeah. So I ain't got nothing to say. Okay. Well, it's because of my freedom of speech and it's because of that drawing that I drew, and that's messed up. I want you out. Blah, blah, blah. We ain't gonna talk. Ain't nothing to talk about. Yada, yada. Mind you, my job of 10 years, this is how I fed my family. I literally moved down here homeless to move my life around this place, away from everywhere and everybody that I knew. I didn't know nobody down here but the people I worked with and I consider family, even the ones that is, even my ex. So, this ain't gonna be short and sweet, I guess. So, after that, you want to pack tonight? You got a choice. You want to pack tonight or you want to pack tomorrow before work? And I'm like, before we open. And I'm like, man, if it's going to be done, I guess let's go ahead and get it over with. I ain't going to, my closest friend in there it's my brother from another. He's going to be there tomorrow. I'm going to break down. If this is already going to be hard enough. Cried quite a few times, not wanting to shed one tear in there because what's happening to me, you know. I don't want to show no sort. I'm proud in what I didn't do nothing wrong, and this is an atrocity to our rights. I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm solidified in that I'm standing up for my freedom of expression and my equal opportunity to those things and all so forth that I've outlined many times in this video. So I go in. He brought you boxes. All right, thank you. I appreciate it. He went and bought some boxes to help me pack up. Appreciate you. So It's like 15, 20 minutes till close. Ain't no artist, ain't no clients in the shop. Well, no, I think there was actually a client in the back. There was. Yep. Ty was tattooing a client, which is the booth next to me. And I wasn't yelling. I wasn't screaming. I wasn't throwing anything violently in any manner. I feel equally rationally upset to express, damn, at least, like, I'm gonna at least got to say what I feel. This is wrong. You're wrong. I'm getting fired literally for my freedom of speech and freedom of expression. I did say one thing right after that I know that's a part of what I'm not going to bring out unless it's either brought out from their side or on that side of the argument, or if it's brought out from me having to, because to solidify, to further prove that my stance and what I have went through and how I have been harassed and how it has been okay for other people to have very contrasting opinions. I'm going to say, no, I am going to go ahead and say it. People has used the word nigger in context to talking to me after George Floyd. I've had that word said to me by a coworker, and nah, fuck that. I can't say that. That's not even, I'm not saying that. That's not it. So, man, that part, I'm not trying to do none of that. I've heard that word used in context against black Americans as I'm talking to a white American that knows very well my daughter, as I've outlined, and my mom's husband has a slight relationship with this person, and you still have the audacity to use this word to me, and is aware that these words has been used in context a time or two around the shop. So I can't believe the audacity of my opinion, me losing my job for it. That was what I had said. I'm not going to use the exact words of what it was. So, after I was told to stop talking when I'm saying, man, this is crazy. I'm getting fired for my freedom of speech. This doesn't seem like America. This is not right. He told me, Nate, just be quiet. Don't say nothing. Just pack your stuff up and go. And I was like, what? Now I can't even talk? Where's my fucking freedom of speech? Gosh, damn. Like, literally, I ain't getting loud like I am right now. I'm just rehashing the moment, man. It's like, are you serious? Now I can't even talk. I said my exact words. I'm not in here yelling. I'm not screaming. I'm not flipping anything. I'm not breaking nothing. Now I can't even talk. If you continue and you don't stop, I'm gonna call the police. I said, what? It's not even like I'm saying these words of context that's been slewed around here a time or two. Hey, I'm peaceful. You go ahead and do what you got to do, and I'm going to do what I got to do. Piercer comes out. Oh, that's one thing I didn't add in there. The first or second time he came back, I think after he came back after getting the boxes. So he came up there once, left, and came back shortly, sat there for the rest of the night. After that, he ended up, he came in that second time, and when he came in, Piercy's passed out. It's like 5:36, passed out drunk. I'm not saying she was drinking throughout. I don't know if she's coming over exactly hung up, but she's definitely slurring her words, doing her, everybody knows. It's ridiculous, man. It's bad. So, comes in, wakes her up. There's that. Do what you got to do. I got to do what I got to do. I'm just going to keep talking. I'm going to just talk. I end up going in there saying that to Ty. Damn it, I ain't trying to use names. Stuff like that. Legal purposes, that's a mistake I made. I do apologize. I ain't trying to personally put anybody out there. I'm not going back on it paused that whole time, I think. I don't know how long this thing's been. My phone said 20% or something, man, so I don't know where it's recording at. said a lot here, I believe it's pertinent to my documentation, but whatever. I'm gonna try to brief it in there that I'm on the way out the back door. Fist bumping my dude. Brother, I told you I'd lose my job and my home for this. I'm told by my landlord I'm not allowed to have this context in or I'm not allowed to. Hold on, I'm getting something's. Here lately I ain't been feeling good. I have light moments. I've been losing. I lost a lot of hair in the very beginning, right after I got literally like a big chunk, a horrible amount of hair. So I guess that's a part of it, because this has been affecting me a lot. I'm trying to eat as best as possible. Whole nine list. I'm not trying to cry for no empathy and pity party, nothing. It's just my life, man. What I've been dealing with, predominantly since George Floyd. Okay. Alright, I'm not feeling. I feel like I got low blood pressure or something too. I know this coffee doesn't help, but it's my addiction, that and weed. Fist bumping him, not gonna lose your home. Come back home, and because of the squander, the pain behind me expressing my first image that I told y'all about, said it on the sign and like the graffiti. I came home and I drew that image. I hung it up about 7 days, 7 days after I got home. I'm still pouring my passion into my art, my freedom of expression. A lot of these people around here hate it. I ain't trying to personally blast nobody, but I am going to end up, I do get out here, and it's a part of the process of the things that I do. I don't know, I know that we can record, I guess. I'm going to have to look legally into more of that around here in Indiana, but because I've been out here in the streets pushing back, and it's exactly why I'm being silenced and censored, and I believe that I'm well within my God-given rights. That's a bad dog. You know better, and you done clean those. Gone. Okay, so I come back, hung that image up in my window. I get a message, hey, no longer after January 15th, which is less than 30 days, 5 days before Christmas, 9 days after I got fired. Oh, man. Messages me and tells me that he'll no longer be renting to me. I don't think I said something to the nature. I was so pissed. I just lost my job. You told me you're not going to kick me out. 9 days later, 5 days before Christmas. My uncle just passed away not too long ago. My car's broke down, which is an $1,800 fix that I cannot afford whatsoever. Again, fired me 4 days before rent. Which my rent's, and I ain't gonna, it's not cheap. I don't live in the most expensive place. I do feel that he gives me a fair-ish price on the place, despite the things that are wrong with it, whatever. Back of my house, got this open right now, because this whole back side of my house is freezing cold every day. Yes, there is a fan in my window to suck out the heat-ish that's in the living room, which could contribute slightly to that. But it's predominantly because this back of my house is not insulated whatsoever. And this floor, instead of being more padded or sealed, I think like that other part is insulated up air. This floor is like a marble-ish sort of flooring that seems to allow a lot more cold air from downstairs, which the business, I don't know if they do it intentionally. It kind of seems like they can't stand me on top of stuff that I'll get. They've harassed my landlord about my music content. I think I already touched on that. trying to keep it as short as possible. So despite all those things, yada yada, nothing was cheap, etc. and so forth. I kind of said back to him, I hope you retake your stance and consideration. I ended up talking to a friend that works there. I know he doesn't as much as he don't want a part of it, because this is not just his boss. He's also like a father figure to him as well as he is to me. He knows that I love him the same as I do, and that I just hope in the long run that he understands. And I hope it ends up being something that helps all of us. This ain't for me. Literally, it's not for me. So, haven't really heard anything too much back. I think a couple days later, sent me another message about rehashing the same thing, because in the first one he mistyped the date on it. He put 2020 opposed to 2022, so it's pretty much the same exact message. Sent it, rehashing it. I think I said fairly similar back to it, and plus I also told him that there's a couple things that are I've told him a long time ago, that about 3 years ago when it's about a year ago actually. When he asked me to do, it was right prior to him asking me to do these steps for him out here. And right after I started them 4 days later, and this is all relevant more so for court purposes than anything. 4 days later, because of that image I told you because of the time that he went to the firework incident, he came to me the next day. I didn't touch on that part, and told me it has to stop out here. If he gets any more complaints from my neighbors, and this is all relevant to the due process, if he gets any more complaints from any of my neighbors, which I outlined, most of the only people that is making calls are far left people that do the same thing that I do, but it's in contrast to my ideology. Or the music. They play it after still. They've been stopping for some reason this past month and a half. I think it's because they don't want me to have any more further documentation of their activities, because they know that I have made, not threats, but made it clear that if my rights are stampeded upon, that I will take legal matters if I have to. I hope that's not what it comes to, and yada yada. I do plan on talking to a civil rights lawyer with this stuff. I've just been, since I gotten fired, I'm trying to process it all and yada yada. So, I just lost where I was at. I'm all over the place. Sometimes that happens. Anybody that might care to follow or understand some of my story here, some of my what's going on out here. I've only pushed back more or gotten louder when I've been silenced more, and I keep doing it within our God-given rights. Nothing that I have been doing for the past year and a half has any legal officer of any sort came to me to make any complaint, other than the time that they called the police on the fireworks. And I didn't further that part, but I told the officer I'm not throwing fireworks at anybody. Said to me, well, will you please stop throwing fireworks at people? I told him, sir, I'm not. I said, he said, will you please stop throwing fireworks? Was his exact words. And I said, is it illegal? And he said, no, but throwing them at people is. And I said, again, I'm not throwing fireworks at people whatsoever. And he gets mad. I started to say, the reason why you're getting a call is because I was listening to King Noble. Look this video up. King Noble, open season, that advocates for killing cops and white people. It's a black power. They support black power around here, so I feel like why not to let them see what black power is representing, for those that might not see the deeper side of it that I have and looked extensively into. And I do not agree with anywhere near that sort of ideology. I believe it's hateful and divisive, and it's killing a lot of people. So, yeah. I'm a little bit more I do get off topic quite a bit, but so last I've heard from the landlord, besides me messaging him and telling him that. Anyways, for court process purposes, I know whatever I've said that I'll be able to follow up on in questioning and be able to give exact detail within. It's one thing, I don't know what it is. My friend at the job, he always said, Nate, you have a way better memory recollection than I do with certain things, and I don't know if it's like a PTSD or what the hell ever it is, but these sort of things that mean so much to me. I can remember almost every damn pole on here that's around here and every street sign where it says ACAB and so forth. I've taken a lot of it down. I have over, something I touched on earlier, I make videos of. I got probably over 1,000 stickers. One of the worst ones that I have found is a black slave man with a knife impaled through a white police officer that says, "Death to pigs, power to the people." So I'm tired of the hatred, documenting my life on how I'm pushing back and how I'm standing up for my rights. I genuinely appreciate all those that do support me, and I appreciate those that don't even. And I'm literally praying for everybody. Y'all think I'm out here because I'm so aggressive and angry and hurt and frustrated and expressing myself in a way that it's hard to say, because I say that most people don't agree with or think is rational or okay, but then they'll think that it's okay and rational for the other side, in a far higher contrast, coming from a more deviant mindset and place of heart. They ain't coming from true love, equality. They're destroying everywhere they touch. We're seeing them doing nothing but hate the ones that they claim to. They claim for equality and peace and tolerance, but they are completely intolerant. They claim to stand against fascism, but they are the fascists. They claim not to have they claim to stand against Nazism, but they have Nazi ideologies. They claim to stand against racism, and here I'm just gonna go ahead and show this, and after this I'm gonna end this video. This is just a little bits of what I'm gonna try to start showing down here. I'm gonna end up making a video here soon. I'm going to the public board hearing around here to vocalize some of these issues that I've had. My girlfriend recently tagged a picture of this one guy that's posting pornographic images. I woke up the other day, caught him posting, that's tied to political and racial issues, which on my Facebook, that's canceled right now, blocked for again 30 days for sharing that picture that had a small piece of nudity, but it's okay out here in our public for our children to see. But even people arguing on our local Fountain Square that she posted that to page, trying to show that, hey man, this ain't cool. Somebody caught a post. Read the pictures. I end up posting on whatever platform this is, man. This dude is mentally very gone. He's racist, making racist comments, but it's called reverse racism. As the left, racism begets racism, yada yada. Now let me go ahead and show y'all these images. This is my back alley. If you didn't see where I just came from, I didn't even walk 150 feet. This guy right here, that's cute, ain't it? That's cute. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Dark skin, halo over his head, ain't nothing wrong with that. Man, wait, what? Why ain't he got a halo? He's a little bit lighter in skin tone, skin complexion, right? Why ain't, where's his halo? Let's step over here to this guy. Bald head, he ain't got no hair. Both of these people seem to, I mean, I might be mistaken. No, yeah, it's a mistake. I was gonna say looking at a different angle, but bald head with devil horns? Little bit, way lighter skin. A little bit darker in tone. These are deliberate in skin color, okay? Now, for those of you that don't know, that is Karl Marx. Karl Marx. That is critical race theory right there. The more whiter you are, the more of the devil you are. The darker skin you are, that is so fucking racist. That's not just me. You can research it, and people can say that's up for interpretation. Okay, this is fine. If this is fine, why is my context and why is my content not fine? Got another black man right here, which is cool. I think that's Jimi Hendrix. Loved watching this artist do it. He had one of the craziest layouts to be able to. It was a bunch of shapes and stuff. I first started taking pictures of him. I thought he was one of these people that's been out here graffitiing our stuff, but it ended up turning beautiful. That's beautiful. Another brother right there. Okay, cool. Right on. Well, I mean, you know, I'm not positive, but tongue sticking out. All right, a little silly, you know. Brother repping NJ. I hope whatever he died from wasn't something that is this glorified lifestyle that they perpetuating out here. This little dude that posted Not Graffiti, he's a cop hater as well. I've seen with some of his stickers that I've gotten down. He's an anarchist around here that there's a very, I would say, a pro-liberal, I guess. There's a lot of them around here, which is why I'm hated so much by only these people. Again, my elders love me. I'm going to end up getting a character witness from the people who live directly next door to me. Everybody complaining about me for the same things that they doing around here, but for some reason my elders over there love me. It's just these people that just can't stand my opinion, that can't stand me. I've only